All right, all right. So thanks for being with me again. And for everybody that's just joining us, thanks for being here. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and we're going to share some information. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. So what time is it? It's just a couple minutes ahead of 6. So I think I'm going to get started.
Okay,
For those of you that joined us on Facebook, thanks for being with us tonight. And for those of you that are live with us here on Zoom, thanks for being with. And for everybody that's watching this video, and get back to the person that got it to you and thank them. And boy, it's funky. I'm watching this screen, and it's cutting off parts of my face, with that background on there. The green screen. It's weird, but anyhow, folks, thanks for being with us. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and tonight I want to share a little bit about business, building an extra income. I was just reading maybe about 2 hours ago. I was reading how the Generation Xers and the millennials are finding that it's difficult to pay their rent. It's difficult to get by in life because they have increased medical bills. They said that over 50% of young people are having trouble today because of increased medical expenses, and it's one of the most common things that causes bankruptcies as well, not just in young people, but I think in older people as well. And so I think when we talk about Sizzle, it's important for a couple of reasons. Because number one, it's a great way of generating an income if you know how to do it. And I was watching a live video, just maybe an hour or so ago, and I have some conflicts with how they were approaching it, but so I'll share my method and kind of my thoughts. So tonight, that's really what I want to talk about is what I think is a great way of building the business and my philosophy on it. It might be different than yours, but I tend to listen to a lot of the gurus in the network marketing, direct selling industry. I listen to the icons in the industry. But the other thing I want to talk about, and I think Katie will cover this more in her half of the conversation, is really, if you're seeing a large part of the population is having some problems with their health. When I was 20, 30 years old, I didn't have any health problems at all. I mean, I was pretty much indestructible. I didn't have health insurance, any of that, which may be stupid. You could think back, but the thing about it is that, you should be in the best health of your life when you're young. And so if over 50% are having trouble paying their bills, their living expenses because of medical bills, then I'd say that maybe there's a situation with that generation. And so, a lot of that has to do with looking at their environment. What are they doing wrong? And so I'm going to just kind of hit on that. And then, Katie will cover a little bit more, because I'm sure she totally agrees with me on that. If you're spending your day drinking Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola and Diet Coke, and you're going to the fast food joints, Burger King, and I guess you guys don't call it Burger King down in Australia, Hungry Jack's, I think it is. But or you go to McDonald's, or you go to any of these places, they don't use good, wholesome food in what they're serving you, and it's really not going to keep you healthy. We've always heard you are what you eat, and that tends to be true. If you're eating junk food, you're going to have a junk body, and then on top of it, I think that a lot of people just aren't getting enough sleep. We live in a stressful world. They're being totally stressed out, and all of those things tend to cause people to be unhealthy. So I think that needs to be addressed with that generation if they're having a problem. I mean, they're one of the first generations that's been brought up from the cradle with processed foods. I mean, some young people have never had anything but processed food. They've never had wholesome food. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I don't know if they were joking, but they said that they know people in their 20s that think that chocolate milk comes from brown colored cows. And I thought, holy cow, you got to be kidding me. And well, I don't know. I think my ex-wife used to think that too, but I can pick on her. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. But my part of this talk every week is really sharing with you a way of generating extra income. And I really want to stress the part about extra income. It's not something that, you know, you're going to go out and you're going to say, hey, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to join Dr. Kurt and Katie and everyone else in Sizzle. And you can see this in the background, SISEL. That's the name of the company that we're representing. It's a network marketing company. We have nutrition, we have personal care products, we have things to help keep you healthy and to have a healthy lifestyle. And so most people can't jump right in. They don't have enough money saved up that they can go out and quit their job and do this full time. What you have to do is you start from the beginning. You're building a business from scratch, and you're not putting a lot of money into it. So you're not going to get paid, 90% commission rates or anything like that. You're getting paid a 7% commission rate. So obviously with a 7% plus bonuses, it's going to take a while to build a replacement income, but at the same time to build an extra income on top of what you're already taking home. That's how I look at this, is that let's build you a extra income that you can supplement everything else. And at the same time, let's get you using the products so that you stay healthier, so you don't have to worry about having those extra medical expenses that you have to take out of your checking account, put on your credit card and cause you to be bogged down by extra bills. So that being said, a lot of people, they ask me, they say, well, tell me a little bit more about it. And I start off by saying, look, here's an industry that started way back, over 100 years ago, actually. And it kind of gained ground back in the 50s and 60s, a company by the name of Amway. And I don't mind saying that, because they were really one of the companies that did a lot of the homework, and they kind of went through all the legal processes to make sure that this was a legal way of running a business. And all we're doing is we're conducting a business where we're sharing with other people. And so there's different ways of making money. One part of it is that you go out and you find customers and you sell them a product. Well, the problem with that is that, if you're going out and that's how you want to build your business, you want to sell products, is that you can only talk to so many people in a day. And pretty soon what's going to happen is you basically built yourself another job. Well, if you're working 8 hours a day at your current job, do you want to work another 8 hours a day on a second job? Absolutely not. That's not what you want to do. And so you're not going to throw the customers out with the dishwasher, with dishwater. What you want to do is you want to collect those customers that are going to be buying the products as well. But what you're really looking for is you're looking for other people who want to generate a part-time income, an extra income to supplement their income. And then what are you teaching those people how to do? Well, you're teaching them the same thing, that they're going to find customers along the way, people that just say, no, I don't want to do it. I've tried that before, blah, 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 whatever. And those people are going to be great customers. But at the same time, you're looking for the people that want to go out and they want to build an extra paycheck. They want to build an extra paycheck on top of it. And as you help them build their paycheck, of course, your paycheck is going to go up. You're going to make more money. And eventually, if you do this right, you're going to start generating an income that's going to be bigger than your full-time job, working this thing part-time. And I was talking to a friend of mine, he got started 30 years ago in the industry, and he's making he was making $700,000 a month before COVID hit. And just think about that. In your regular job, if you work 30 years at your regular job, is there any way that your boss is going to pay you $700,000 a month? I'm just going to pause for a second. I want you to think about that. Think about that. Do you really think that, honestly, if you kept doing it what you're doing, do you think that your boss would pay you $700,000 a month? I mean, If your answer is yes, text me. Let me know what you're doing. I'd like to take a look at it, because unless you're a doctor or something like that, it's really hard to imagine that you can do that. So you take somebody with no experience, like my friend, and no college education, and he's making that kind of money. And he started out the same place that we started out. He started out from the beginning. And when what you're doing is with the compensation plan that we have with Sizzle, there's little tips and tricks that you can look at. And what I like to say is that building blocks, look at it as building blocks. What do you have to do? Well, your goal is that you're going to go out and build one of these building blocks. And this building block is basically built of, you're going to go out and find 3 people who want to do the business, who want to make an extra income. And you're going to help them find 3 people that want to go out and do the exact same thing. So you have 3 people who you help find 3 people. So that's 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And then you're going to help those 9 people go out and find 3 people each that want to go out and do the business. You're going to find people that want the product along the way. That's good. But we're looking for 3 people that want to buy into the business aspect of it. Once you've done that, you're going to have 39 people in your organization that are doing the business. And if all 39 people are doing it correctly, which I'm going to describe right now, you're going to generate an extra, and I'm going to say it this way, you're going to generate anywhere between $800 to $2,000 a month, depending on the product sales, what they're using, because there is product sales. That's where the money's coming from. But you're not going out necessarily, you could build this without a single customer. You could build this without selling a single product, because if you're doing the business, you're also using the product because you want to become a product of the product at the exact same time. So you're building the business, you're becoming a product of the product, you're becoming your own best customer, and then you're finding 39 people. So you find 3 who find 3, and then you help them find 3. That's 39 people. And if you're doing that, it's going to pay you $800 to $2,000 a month. And it's a range. And I can't say, oh, here's my paycheck. I can't flash that. Not only is it illegal, but it really doesn't help you, because your paycheck could be bigger than mine. Even though you're getting into Sizzle later than I am, you can actually make more money, because it's not the people that get in it when the company's young. In fact, I kind of discourage people from getting into a young company, a company that's a startup company, because over 95% of startup companies fail in the first 5 years. So why not get started with a company that's doing it? We had our best year ever last year over at Sizzle, and we're 14 years old. Think about that. Best year ever, 14-year-old company. That's a good track record. That's a company that's got a good foundation. We've done some things right. We've done some remarkable things, actually. Since I've been with the company, I've watched the products change. I've watched the marketing change. I've watched the compensation plan change for the better, to where they tweaked it out to make it so that it worked better. So when you get started, what you want to do is you want to come in with what we call a wealth builder pack. And what that is, a one-time purchase that you make, you're getting a good discount on product. You can buy a number of different packs. I'm not going to go through them, but you buy a wealth builder pack. It gives you 300 points, 300 volume points. And with shipping and taxes and everything like that, I'm going to say it's going to range anywhere from $350 to $500, depending on where you live. Because if you live in Australia or New Zealand, or if you live over in Italy or Japan, you're going to have a little bit more shipping than, say, if you're shipping them up to Fargo, North Dakota, where I'm at, right? Because everything ships out of Utah. And so there's going to be different shipping. So it's going to be between $350 to $500. That's the starting point. And some people say, oh, that's too much. Well, the thing about it is that, we've heard the saying, it takes money to make money. Well, this is one of those cases. You have to invest in yourself. And you're not just buying blue sky. You're not just buying a franchise fee, right? When you buy a large a franchise, you're buying that blue sky that hopefully this works for you. In this case, you're buying products that you're going to use. You're buying products that someone else can use. You can sell them to them. You can share them. You can use them as shareable products, samples, things like that. But what you're going to do is you're going to buy this volume pack, points of 300 points. It's called a wealth builder pack. And that's why you want to start at that point, because what that does is that it opens up the compensation plan Every part of the compensation plan is open. You're not leaving any money at the table. You're not letting money roll back. And what I try and tell people is think about this. If you're applying for a regular job, say you're applying to work for me in my clinic, and I say to you, I say, hey, Kurt, I can pay you either $10 an hour or I can pay you $15 an hour. You're going to be doing the exact same thing. Which one do you want to get paid? Well, of course, you're going to say, hey, I want to get paid the $15 an hour if I'm going to be doing the same thing. Right? Well, that's the same thing with getting started with Sizzle, is that you really want to start where you're going to get paid the maximum amount. You're not going to let any money roll back to the company. And that's the Wealth Builder Pack. Everybody that comes in and they're going to do the business with you, they're going to come in at the exact same level. They're going to come in with a Wealth Builder Pack. If they say, hey, I can't do that. Oh, I don't have the money to do that. You know, first thing you got to start thinking, as soon as somebody says they can't, they won't, that usually means that they're not the people that are going to go out and do it. They're not only not going to buy the Wealth Builder Pack, but they're not actually going to go out and do the work either, right? So you're looking for 3 people that are going to actually come in. They're going to do what you do. They're going to buy the Wealth Builder Pack. They're going to get started. Then the next month, the second month that you're in, now you have to buy product again. And what you want to do is you can pick and choose any products that you want, pick your favorites. And I'm telling you, it's not hard to buy 300 points worth of products. And it's going to cost you, again, with shipping, taxes, everything like that, between $350 and $500 for that second month. So the goal is that you're going to go out and find 3 people rather quickly. Because if you go out and find those 3 people quickly, you're going to recoup your costs. You're going to be in it for nothing. Then you're going to teach those 3 people to go out and do the exact same thing so that they're in it for nothing. Then you're going to teach them to do the exact same thing. So everybody's getting in it for nothing. They're getting their money back. And as you build this, you're getting paid commission. And by the time you get paid, or by the time you go out and you find 3 who find 3 who find 3, those 39 people, you're going to be getting paid between $800 to $2,000 a month consistently every single month. And as you do that, now you're looking for your next 3. You're looking for your next block, your next building block, and you're going to go out and you're going to find 3 more, and you're going to help them find 3, and you're going to help them find 3. And once you get that building block, you're not going to stop there. You're going to keep helping your original 3 go out and do that again, because you get paid that 7% commission on those people, and you get paid the 7% on their people and their people. Not only that, you get paid some other commissions, some other bonuses and things like that as you grow. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again. So if you can learn that, that's all you really need to learn about the compensation plan. You're going to get paid all your money. You're going to make some good income. And all of a sudden now you're going to have a replacement income. And what I try and tell people is that keep going to your regular job if you like what you're doing, because it's a great way of telling people. You can say, hey, look, my part-time job pays me more than my full-time job. And isn't that a great way to think about it? So Katie, I'm going to bring Katie on. She really likes the science behind the products. She's excellent with understanding it. She likes to share it. She puts some good videos together each week. And I'd say she's my patient educator. She's my patient educator. And on top of that, she really knows how to run the internet really well. She's an IT expert and has done that for a job. And so Katie Larkin from Australia, you're going to share with us some stories about the age pill.
Yes, thank you, Kurt. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the call today. If you're watching the recording, thank you for watching the recording. So today we are going to talk about the Sizzle Age Pill, and specifically how this can help hairdressers and obviously anyone interested in improving their hair quality. So let me just bring up those slides here for a second. Can you see that, Kurt? Just if someone can just drop in the chat box if you can see my slides.
Oh, I said I can. I was muted.
Oh, okay, great. I just wanted to double check before I get started. All right. So just before we start, I need to put in a quick disclaimer. So the products that we're discussing today are not designed to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. And if you are unwell, you should consult your health professional before taking any supplements. The disclaimer goes on to say other things too. We just want to cover ourselves. We're not making any claims regarding our product specifically, hasn't been tested, and we cannot make legally any claims in that regard. So before we start, I wanted to share some background information about ingredients. And so this part here, we're not actually talking about any Sizzle products, so we're not making any claims regarding our products. I'm just doing a general discussion on ingredients because it is really relevant, because we want to educate people about the benefit of the ingredients. They can go away and do their own research, but these ingredients, yes, are contained, well, at least the first three, and I'll talk about that in a second, in our product, the Sizzle Age Pill. So here we've got on the screen, we've got some ingredients. We've got niacin, niacinamide, which is basically the same as niacin, but it's in a different form, and it doesn't cause flushing, which I'll get into. We've got D-ribose, and we've got then number 4 on the list there, which is nicotinamide riboside. So you can actually create nicotinamide riboside if you join the two molecules together, which is the niacinamide and the D-ribose, can form that. And I remember hearing a talk by Tom Senior, and said that he was using a double covalent bond to combine these two molecules, and he believed that it could get up to 4 times longer use in the body than straight nicotinamide riboside. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So these particular ingredients are really key, and the reason they're key is because they act as precursors to the body creating its own levels, improving its levels of NAD. So as I've got here on the screen, we've got niacin and niacinamide. Despite the names being similar, niacinamide isn't quite the same thing as niacin. They're actually different types of B3. So understanding ingredients. So niacin in high doses can actually cause your blood vessels to widen, and a condition called flushing. So if you've ever taken any niacin product, if you've ever taken our product before, if you take a high enough dose, you can get what's called flushing. And when people take niacin as an ingredient by itself, which is often prescribed by doctors to treat cholesterol, which a lot of people may not realize. So when a doctor prescribes niacin, it can actually be used to treat cholesterol. And niacinamide is also used in supplements. But niacinamide doesn't cause the flushing. It's the niacin that causes the flushing. So that's interesting to note too. So we've talked about D-ribose. When combined with niacinamide, we can form nicotinamide, but also we're creating nicotinamide riboside. I think I've left that. Yes, sorry, can create nicotinamide riboside. Okay, so just to let you know a little bit of background there. So nicotinamide riboside, there's heaps of information on the internet about this. You can do a Google search on that actual keyword there, and you'll find that it's used in anti-aging supplements. It's designed to support the body to boost its own levels of NAD. And this is really critical because NAD is a coenzyme which is critical for all living cells, and actually is involved in energy. So how much energy levels we have each day is also dependent on our NAD levels. And it does so much more than that, but I won't cover all of that today, because today I really want to talk about hair. So this was a little statement I pulled from a website, and it was just a question. Turns graying hair back to its original color and prevents more grays, ? So that's the question. So battling early grays, some users of nicotinamide riboside, a form of B3 that can boost your body's own ability to produce NAD, which we've just talked about, report that the supplement turns graying hair back to its original color and prevents more grays. While there are no studies specifically on graying hair, there are promising studies on the ingredient itself. Researcher Charles Brenner with a PhD has spoken about anecdotal hair and nail growth. So again, we're not making any claims, but we're putting that question out there. And this will become quite interesting later in this presentation when we get into sharing some photos. So we've talked about what niacin is. So actually niacin is also used to treat pellagra, and that is basically B3 deficiency, although not many people are B3 deficient these days. So is not really an issue for many people. So today we want to look at how niacin, specifically this ingredient, can promote hair growth. And again, we're not talking specifically about our product, we're talking about the ingredient here. So niacin can improve blood circulation to the scalp. So no matter what, circulation is actually vital to the overall health of scalp and hair follicles. So all blood delivers oxygen. And you might have noticed that when you don't have good blood supply, things do not heal. And this is why you often get people who, as they age, I'll give you an example, they might get like sores on their legs and they just don't heal. And they might be down around their ankles, around their calf. And that's because the blood's not pumping well enough through their body. And if we don't have good blood supply, those areas of tissue are not getting oxygen, enough oxygen. And if we're not getting enough oxygen and blood supply and nutrients, then sores on legs can't heal. And this can become a problem for particularly people as they age and they're sitting down a lot, the circulation is really poor. Well, the same can be said for the hair follicles. If you want really healthy hair, you need to make sure you've got really good blood supply. You need the oxygen, you need the nutrients so that the hair can grow at its optimal levels. So what can be done to increase blood supply to the scalp? Well, they have found that obviously niacin can do that. And we talked about before how you can have what's called flushing, and that's where you can go all red and you feel hot and you might feel itchy. This is only a temporary side effect and it disappears after a short period of time, and drinking water can help that. And again, there's different types of B3, which we talked about before. Some do and some don't cause it, but niacin by itself does cause it. And I'm just looking at the time here, so I want to get through this on time. So this is a side effect of taking niacin. So it dilates the dermal blood vessels and increases the flow of blood throughout the body. So whilst this may be unpleasant for some people, it's actually really healthy. It can really help to improve the blood circulation and improve oxygen throughout the body. And it's actually really, it makes you feel great. I mean, I've had a flush, I have them fairly regularly. And just before I have the flush, I actually feel happier, my mood improves. And perhaps I could hypothesize that one reason may also be that the blood supply is improving. And so that helps to improve mood as well. Anyway, so further niacin has been shown to reduce viscosity and thickness of blood, and it can improve circulation, which we've talked about, which would include getting to the scalp and hair follicles. So that's one reason that we can look at. So niacin may also reduce inflammation. So a study was done showing the high sensitivity of C-reactive protein in the body. And in fact, the volunteers treated with niacin in this 52-week study saw a decrease of 20% in this inflammatory marker. So that's another important factor to remember about the ingredient niacin. So the marker for inflammation could be used, say, anywhere in the body. It's also related to cardiovascular disease and issues with that if you have a high hsCRP marker. But it could also potentially indicate that there's inflammation in other areas such as the scalp. So some people do get scalp inflammation. And so we want to look at the inflammatory markers in the body to see, how much is that actually contributing to it. So the fact that we talked about that niacin can reduce those levels of inflammation could be a takeaway for hair loss sufferers. So this is a really important factor to remember. So that's another angle that we could potentially be looking at when we're concerned about hair loss or improving hair growth. Niacin also helps to rebuild keratin. So this is a really important point here as well. So it has direct benefit on the keratin inducing effects. And keratin is a fibrous protein. It's responsible for protecting cells, the epithelial cells on the surface of the skin. And keratin is also present in hair and nails, which makes up a significant part of the makeup of these things. So niacin, or more specifically niacinamide, has been shown to increase synthesis of keratin in certain studies that have been done. And it can also improve water loss and moisturization of the horny layers. So again, we're talking just here about the ingredient niacin. Niacin has been shown that it is involved in the conversion, as we've discussed before, of the coenzyme NAD is converted to the coenzyme involved in the metabolic processes, NAD. And NAD is a really important substance. We can't live without it. If you took all the NAD out of your body, you'd be dead very quickly. And so this is really important. But also the hair follicle can shrink and lead to hair loss as our NAD levels decline. And so niacin can help with that and help fight back against damage. So that's really important too. So there's 4 benefits of just niacin alone. So that's just a bit of background on ingredients. I haven't talked about any products yet. Now I want to specifically talk about our product, which is the age pill, and how this might be of benefit to hairdressers. So the Sizzle Age Pill is really a breakthrough in science. It just has amazing results for so many people. And basically what it does is it works in a number of ways on our body. This particular product helps to support stem cells that become cluttered with cellular garbage. So we have cellular waste in and around our cells, which is called glycation and lipofuscin. And this clogs up our cells. And basically our body just doesn't function as properly. This causes decay and degeneration and leads to aging. And this is aging all over the body. So if we provide the proper nutrients, and these nutrients are contained within our product, this can help to support your body to slow the effects of aging. And I've put here, as we age, we notice that one thing that happens is our hair starts to thin and gray hairs start to appear, and skin starts to appear dull, and more wrinkles appear, and we also have less energy. So these are all part of the aging process, which is really unfortunate because it would be nice to not have those things happen. So our particular product has super nutrient formula, which supports the removal of glycation and lipofuscin, and also supports the body to boost ATP levels, biological hydrogen, and helps to support the slowing and helps to slow cellular decay and degeneration. So we've covered all that. So now we know all the great things about our product. So now I wanted to share some before and after photos. And this is a friend of yours, Dr. Daniel Silva. You actually know him, I believe you've spoken about Daniel before. So what we've got here is a photo of him from 2012, before the product even came out, which is quite a long time ago. And then in 2018, after the product had just come out, he'd been on it. I think he'd been on it, well, I'd say quite a number of months, potentially a year. And you can just see massive improvement. And look at his hair. I mean, it is amazing. Look how he's got lots of gray hair there. And on the left photo, he's got a reduction in gray hair. It's not all gone, but it's definitely improved by a lot. His skin looks better. He looks brighter. Just fantastic results. And this is one of the most powerful ones, testimonials that I've seen. And obviously this product really loves him, and such great results. So we can see from some of these before and after photos that, people did notice when taking it that they have improved hair growth with this particular product. We've got some more photos here, so you can see over time as taking this product that the hair improved. Now, it doesn't improve it to the 100% point. It just supports the hair to just appear better than what it was before. So this is really important to notice. I love this testimonial. I'm so grateful that we're able to share this testimonial. We're just on the at 5:30, so I'm nearly finished. I've only got a two minutes or so left. But this is Anthony, and he had been using the age pill for 5 months, and just noticeable improvement in his skin, reduction of lines and eye bags, just massive, massive difference. Anthony is a type 1 diabetic, and because if you're actually a diabetic, you have more issues with the glycation. So removing glycation in the body is really important, and you see it in the skin, and so that affects the aging of the skin. And so that's why he's been able to get such also great results in these, as you can see in these pictures, because the product has support his body to help reduce the glycation. So overall, super happy with the results, just absolutely fantastic results there. And I love seeing these pictures. This picture is outstanding. This was from Andy K from Victoria, and he shares his results, and he was using the product for 1 year. And so you can see, whilst his grey hair isn't gone, it's diminished. His hair has come back darker and potentially thicker as well from the appearance. I love these pictures. This was my dog, Milo. She made it to, was 16 years old, Labrador, which did pretty well. And she had energy right up until the last week of before her passing. And she had massively reduced grey hair starting on this product, and it really supported her energy levels. So even though it improved her, she had a little wart thing going on here, so it reduced in size. But you can see the grey hair really did diminish. And, dogs don't lie. So you can really see the improvement there. And here, so this was day 1 when I started her on the product. And then by 3 months, you could see just around her nozzle. So you could see the gray hair diminishing and her coat improved. And overall, she just, was looking fabulous. And she was fabulous, as I said, right until the last week. So 4 weeks here on the age pill and just some amazing results. You can see improvement in the appearance of hair growth as well. And, also energy levels is improved here, and just, so much gratitude for this product being available. So another great testimonial there. And then I think this is the last one here. So you can see here that there was improvement in some gray hair, and the skin has improved as well. Really happy with the results. It's just such a fantastic product, and we really, really love it. It's our favorite product in the range. Now, I just wanted to touch on lastly the ingredients. So we've talked about ingredients today. So you can see in our product, we've got the D-Robose, we've got the niacinamide, and we've also got the niacin in our product as well. We've also got a number of other ingredients too, which are very beneficial. So that's it for me. I've just gone 3 minutes over. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. It's given you some ideas, and perhaps you might be thinking of some people that might like to listen to this information. Then please do share it with them. And if you're listening to this information and someone has shared it with you, please get back to that person. They've gone out of their way to share it with you, and it would be really great if you would get back to them directly. So that's it for me, Kurt. That's a wrap.
Katie, here's how I'm going to end it. I'm going to say, look, I'm here. I'm talking about the business aspect. I'm saying go out and find 3 people. Just imagine that this product does everything that Katie just talked about. Just imagine those 3 or 4 testimonials. How many people do you know would like to get those kinds of results? And how many people do they know? And how many people do they know? Do you think that you could go out and find 3 people who could go out and market this to 3 people who could market it to 3 people, and you could build that income that I'm talking about? And once you get those kinds of results, you're going to stay on the product. It's not like you're going to take it for a couple of months. You're going to go, oh, I feel great. My vision is better. I mean, this is my testimony. My vision is better. I don't have to wear my reading glasses anymore. My memory's better. Do you think I'm ever going to quit taking this product? No way. I'm going to add to it, because when you look at a company like Sizzle, we're adding products that make this product work better. We've added products to our lineup that actually make this product work better. Think about that, folks. So how hard is it to build a business? Katie, it's not hard at all. It's not hard at all.
Share the information, Kurt. Ask questions and find out those people who have the need. There's people out there who have a need to improve their energy. There's people who have a need to want to improve the appearance of their skin, or looking for better, hair appearance as well. So there's just so many things that this product can really support. And then,
more importantly, they need money in their account.
They do, and getting them the products paid for at the very least.
Bingo. Katie, thanks for being with us every week. I just love it that you're here every week. You never miss a week, even if you're not feeling well. Folks, thanks for being with us. For those of you that are watching the video, get back to the person that sent this to you and say, hey, I'm interested in generating an income. I'm interested in taking this product. We're not gonna call foul if you say, I just want to buy the product. That's up to you. We're not going to coerce you into it. We're not going to try and force you to do it. We're just going to say, hey, if that's what you want to do, it's your day.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.